where we get to start to feel into every day what it is and deepen our embodiments as quantum creators coming from that place of higher purpose. And what does that mean? What does your life get to look like once you master that? Once you master really understanding that things are happening through you, not only for you, things are happening through you. And who do you have to be? What frequency? What does it mean to raise our frequencies so that we can hold all of it and really come from that place of higher frequency? And what is that? It's joy, it's freedom, it's expansion, it's abundance, it's everything. You're listening to Catalyst Talks, conversations with change agents, outliers, superheroes, and truly conscious leaders modeling what it is to be an unstoppable force for good and truth in this world. What lit these catalysts on fire to do their work, and what nuggets of wisdom can they share with a world literally on fire? I'm your host, Stephanie Trager. I'm a transformational catalyst and life coach to maverick change agents in business, leadership, and life. On this podcast, I wear an eclectic mix of hats, including Earthkeeper, Wayfinder, Truth Teller, Coach, Lawyer, Business and Impact Strategist. My intention is holding space for higher purpose, peak wellness, soul mastery, and deeper impact so we can live in harmony with ourselves, each other, and nature. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. If you love it, please share and spread the word. We're on YouTube and all the podcast platforms. See the show notes on catalysttalks.com for links, and enjoy this episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Catalyst Talks Podcast. Welcome to my new guests and to my old friends. It is an honor to be holding the space on this solo cast today, and I'm talking all about liberation. So this podcast episode is in honor of our divine right to experience inner liberation, no matter what our outer circumstance, no matter what our external circumstance is providing for us. And my offering today, as we dive into the idea of what liberation is and how do we lean even more into that, because no matter who I speak to, no matter what level of wealth, no matter what level of education, no matter what, we all want liberation. We either want freedom from a situation we're in, or we want to stop the inner voice from keeping us in our own prison, the prison of our mind, right? And from that place of liberation and mental freedom, we experience emotional peace, and we experience more physical vitality, and we experience more spiritual expansion. And none of these are mutually exclusive. They work in tandem. And so today's episode is about how we experience liberation by owning our power as creators. I just did a masterclass, about an hour-long masterclass, a little less than that, with 15 minutes of that is actually a juicy guided visualization. And this was, it was just so epic. Thank you for everyone who showed up live. That experience took people on a journey through what it meant to access that place of higher purpose, which is where we are quantum creators. We get to be quantum creators and experience true liberation, because you see, liberation is a frequency. It's an energetic frequency, and higher purpose dances in that frequency of liberation. Higher purpose is a frequency that is not bound by the roots of our old identity. And we need to dismantle parts of our identity that keep us stuck playing out life, creating in an old program as programmed creators in our old identities, wearing these hats and the internalized voice of who we think we're supposed to be, who we've been projected on by society. That's who we are. That's who we really are. Well, I have news. When we come from that place, those who are feeling like there's got to be more, what's next? We're reaching towards something that's more aligned with purpose, right? It feels like I know what my purpose is. I feel fulfilled. I feel congruent. I feel coherent with my contribution. There's reciprocity. I feel well received. I feel seen. And we all have different needs, right? Needs for belonging. But this journey from our identity to purpose becomes a path that is also often a dead end. And it might not have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Well, maybe it was, but it's all about perception. And where we are right now is we're expanding our perception more and more as a collective. And as we expand our perception, we're perceiving that, wait, what I thought this was, it isn't. I'm not going to be able to solve climate change, for an example, or solve the problems I thought I was going to be able to solve from what I thought was my purpose, or I'm doing all the right things. Hey, in fact, it's quite noble what I'm doing. I ought to feel aligned, right? I can't complain. But so many people who I'm speaking to, clients, people who are coming to me, and I see it all over the place, there's this incongruence. People are feeling out of alignment with their work and what was once very aligned as purpose. And there's either a transition going on, or you're in the beginning of trying to figure out what is next, right? Because that place of purpose or what you were doing before starts to feel like chains. And it could be also the feeling of being burned out. Like, I'm calling this purpose burnout. And this is where our relationships suffer. We feel contracted, and often we're feeling like that old identity. So many industries and spaces that are in, say, sustainability or impact or even nonprofit or whatever it is that is connected, tied to causes or some kind of contribution. And again, business can do that too. But when there's this extractive environment that we're in, even though our cause or what we're creating or the impact is about being less extractive, well, there's sort of a cognitive dissonance going on, right? There's dissonance going on there. And so I want to share with you today a framework that helps us align. We want to be coherent, in coherence with what that thing is that we are aiming for, the impact that we're aiming to have, the contribution we're aiming to have. And we want that to be incoherent with our highest frequency, right? And so this framework that I wouldn't say I've created it. It came through me, and it's something that I use with people all the time in my coaching work. And when I shared this in the masterclass that I delivered live the other day, the resonant takeaway was, wow, that's liberating. It's liberating to have that kind of framework. And so I'm going to share that with you. And if you want to check out the masterclass, it's a powerful experience. You can gift yourself, and it is free. It's stephanietrager.com/liberation. And I would highly recommend you can go catch that replay. There's a playbook that has questions in it. It's like a journaling exercises I give you. It's an experience. So I highly recommend check that out. stephanietrager.com/liberation. And we'll put these links in the show notes. So let me share this framework with you. From a high level, and there's a lot of depth to to really understanding and working with this framework. And from a high level, there's the identity. When we're in our identity, we've been conditioned by society. We might have our titles, we wear certain hats, and we align with that. We resonate with that. We introduce ourselves as that. And then there comes a point where we're like, I don't feel like that anymore. That's not me, right? And we have to go through identity shifts. And at all times in our lives, when we're growing, when you get married, when you have kids, when there's certain, timeline shifts that happen in our lives or phases we go through, we have identity shifts. Some people call it a crisis. It doesn't have to be a crisis. It's an evolutionary expansion instead. And especially when you have a framework. So a lot of people right now are not congruent. There's like not feeling aligned with this old program. And okay, so you finally found your purpose work, and you're leaning into the purpose work, and it's aligned. I got to check off all the boxes, and it feels great. Yeah, now I'm a heart-centered creator. I'm no longer in that place of being a programmed creator in my identity. And as in purpose, in this place of purpose, I'm more intuitive. I can be empathic. I listen to myself. I trust myself. Things happen for me here, right? In the program, they happen to me, but here they're happening for me. I get it. Yay. Okay, cool. And then what happens is we fall back into old identity traps. We go to a conference and we introduce ourselves, and well, I better use that lawyer name right now because I'll sound legit here instead of just some purpose catalyst. That for me, when I was becoming a coach almost 20 years ago, and I was talking about that when I was a lawyer and I was transitioning out of law into transformational coaching and wellness coaching and upgrading human potential. It wasn't a thing back then. And so I really dealt with this interesting identity shift. And that's kind of how I've came to this work, is that through my own journey of over 20 years, I've experienced so much of this, and it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. We're humans. We're humans here with so much potential, and we get bogged down because we are part of a program, and it's like literally like keeps us with a big fat ceiling. It's a big fat ceiling over our head, but that's not life. That's not how it has to be. So we get to lean in towards our purpose. And then what happens? We go back to the old family house and all of a sudden when we're activated, some call it a trigger. We're activated in some old behavior of ours. And oh my God, I call those identity traps. So we have identity, and then we have identity traps, and we have purpose. And it's this kind of spectrum, and we kind of bounce between different places here, right? The goal is to stay in that higher place. So what happens when we're in purpose? And now this is starting to feel like, this isn't it. I call it purpose burnout. Purpose burnout, when we realize this, I feel stuck. This doesn't feel aligned anymore. And what that really is that we have something called purpose identity, which goes after purpose. You got to purpose, and now it's purpose identity. I brought the whole identity matrix, the program with me over here to purpose. And now it's just the old thing, right? Because look where we are. Everyone knows their purpose. If you don't know your purpose, shame on you. And now we've internalized shame of not knowing our purpose, which is an old programmed creator identity matrix. Is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a share. Give me a comment. I want to know if this is landing for you. Come join my program that I'm going to share with you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have a beautiful experience. I would love to invite you to join me. And if any of this is resonating, so stay tuned for a moment. So I want to keep going. We have identity, we have identity traps, we have purpose, and then we have purpose identity. It's like, how did I get out of this? How did I get here to begin with, right? And now we're frustrated because it's like, what is it? And there's a lot of depression that forms around this. It's just a disconnection from who we are. And so I always say this, when we want to come home to who we are and do the work we're really here to do. What is the really here to do? Is it to do spreadsheets? Look, that might be contributing to the thing, but who are you? It's how you be. It's how you be and where you create from. That is what we're here for. It's not so much what. The what will be informed when we dial in the how we're creating and when we dial in where we're sourcing that from. And we want to source it from a place of the highest frequency, not despair because climate change is going to kill us all, right? Not despair because, sometimes problems and challenges are good motivators, right? They motivate us to take action, to make different changes in our lives, to wake us up. But we don't want to act and create change from the old frequency because that's the old program. And that's not change. That's just creating a Band-Aid change. It's not going to change what we really need to do to really tap into our highest potential. It might be better. It might be a new thing. It might be a new thing that's being created, but be careful. It could just be part of another version of the program, another version of that old lower frequency, the denser frequency, solving the problem so that we can, but it's continued to be in an old system. So systems are another word you can use for program. All right. So now we're in higher purpose, and I want to wrap this up here because I promised this would be short. But now you're in higher purpose, and higher purpose is where you master your frequency as a path to your impact. You master your frequency as a path to your impact. And what does that mean? It means letting go of the old programs, dismantling old parts of our identity, doing the inner work, clearing up the old traumas, upgrading our bodies, being mindful of what we're putting in our body. This is all about the physical upgrade while we do the energetics and the emotional dismantling, and start to embody all of the spiritual teachings, all of the personal growth stuff you've read and listened to over the years. And this is where we start to perceive opportunities we didn't see before, because we are at that higher frequency when we're in a place of higher purpose. We are now quantum creators, and we can create things that never existed before. We have a different potential. And this might be a little bit futuristic. This is where we're going as humanity if we want to tap into our highest potential as humanity, because those are potentials we're not really, really playing with full out. And so if you want to join me there, because that's where the joy is, that's where the inner peace is, that's where the self-embodied, like knowing who you are and what you're here to do is, not because you have all of the trappings everyone said was what you're supposed to have, but because of who you are and where it's coming from, that level of presence and groundedness, then it's like the money stuff, the relationship, everything starts to take care of itself, because you become a beacon and a vessel of truth and alignment and coherence with higher states of possibility, of your own possibility. And we work with manifestation and creating in a different way. And so we get to call forth more of our power. We really get to understand what the quantum field is and unleash our dormant potential, transform our stories, elevate our conversations beyond just this linear realm. And this is not about only our work, our purpose work in the world. It's about health and wellness and relationships and family and money and how we do everything here. So this is something that's landing for you. I would love for you. You can check out the masterclass. It's free, stephanietrager.com/liberation. And that is owning your power as a creator. It goes really deep. And if you'd like to come play with me, I'm going to share a minute here about what the Evolve Mastery Circle is. I've been working with private clients for many, many years now in my Evolve program. And there are 4 pillars in Evolve. And this is a 6 or 12-month journey. And there's higher purpose, soul mastery, deeper impact, and peak wellness. And deeper impact in business, leadership, and life. And peak wellness. And that's all about the physical upgrades, right? Soul mastery, medicine wheel journey, very, very deep journey of the soul, mastering perception. And higher purpose is the first pillar that we are creating an Evolve Mastery Circle for. So this is a smaller group program. It's a group journey, a group experience. So the investment is more easily attainable for all. And it is a 1-pillar experience. So there's 4 pillars in Evolve, and the Evolve Mastery Circle will be 1 pillar at a time. And you don't have to do them all, whichever resonates for lands, and they do build on each other. So higher purpose is what we are opening for enrollment right now. And it is kicking off. It's a 6-week journey that kicks off in January, but we have bonuses up the wazoo, and it starts in November. So if you jump in now, you get free coaching in November, you get it again in December, and you get you have access to a 2.5-hour Vision Quest 23 workshop the first week of January. We're going to be visioning our best year ever from that place of higher purpose as quantum creators, mastering how we can jump tracks between, all the dimensions that we live in right here on the 3D world, as well as the 5th dimensional and all the other dimensions. But really, this is going to be a beautiful New Year's workshop that's for those who jump in now. And we also have a online group that we will be having daily alignments with, daily check-ins, meditations, visualization, all kinds of cool stuff. So I will not continue to give you all the details here. I'll point you to where you can go look. It is stephanietrager.com/EMC-higher-purpose. EMC-higher-purpose. And I'm going to put the link again in the show notes. And you can also just find that at stephanietrager.com. And I look forward to seeing you. I really hope you come in to play with us in this beautiful Evolve Mastery Circle, higher purpose journey, where we get to start to feel into every day what it is and deepen our embodiments as quantum creators coming from that place of higher purpose. And what does that mean? What does your life get to look like once you master that? Once you master really understanding that things are happening through you, not only for you, things are happening through you. And who do you have to be? What frequency? What does it mean to raise our frequencies so that we can hold all of it and really come from that place of higher frequency? And what is that? It's joy, it's freedom, it's expansion, it's abundance, it's everything. And it actually is the path to our better, more harmonic world in harmony with ourselves, each other, and nature. So thanks for being here today. If you enjoyed this show, please share it. Please comment. If you're watching or listening on Spotify, please give us a rating and a share and a comment. If you're on Apple, please comment and share as well and rate the show. So helpful. And you can come find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Watch the video there and subscribe, like us, share all the good things. This is really exciting for me to share with you. So thank you if you've listened. I appreciate you, and your attention means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Catalyst Talks. Stay tuned for what's up next, and please subscribe to our podcast and rate us wherever you listen. You'll find these all at catalysttalks.com. Join the conversation on social media, and if you'd like to reach out, please send me, Stephanie, a private message through stephanietrager.com. Your attention means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you.